Hi there. If you clicked on this video to learn how to set up audio as a content creator, then you're in the right spot. If you want your editing software to look like this so that you have total control over what audio channels get played in your ultimate video that you post to YouTube, stick around because I'm going to show you exactly how I set this up for my own setup so that you can do the same thing. So for reference, I am a Call of Duty creator, and so I wanted to go over my setup because it might be a little bit different than yours, but the overall concepts I'm going to be going over in this video should apply to most of your situations. So for my setup, I use a PS5 with a capture card and a PC that I am using to record and stream from. There's going to be 3 programs that I go over today that I use that I think would be beneficial for everyone to be using. The first one is SteelSeries Sonar. That's how I manage my audio. The second is OBS Studio. And the third, which I use for my editing software, is Davinci Resolve. I found through trial and error that these are the 3 best programs to be running if you're looking to get into content creation or if you're looking to up your game if you're currently a content creator. All right, so the first thing I want to go over is SteelSeries Sonar. So I'm going to put the links to all of these downloads down in the description below to make it easy on you guys. But basically just go to the SteelSeries website and click the install. They make it all very easy. Click install, go through the normal steps, and then once you get to this screen, this is what you're going to be looking at. So initially you're going to have a notice at the top that says SteelSeries Sonar is not set to your system default device. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that. It's very important for that to be set up properly for SteelSeries to work. So I'm going to just go through that real quick. Now, this is on Windows 11 that I'm showing you, but it's the same thing for Windows 10. You just get there a different way. But you can basically search all this stuff in your search bar. So we're going to right click on the sound icon down here, go to sound settings, and then you're going to see a list of all the different devices that your computer's audio can play through. You're going to want to make sure this is set to SteelSeries Sonar Gaming. That's just the default I use. I think it works the best from my trial and error. And then your input is going to be the same way. So this microphone is going through the SteelSeries Sonar microphone channel. So make sure your mic is set up that way as well. Another thing just to double check is if you go into more sound settings here, you're going to see a list of the same things. So playback just means stuff that's playing through, playing to your headset or your monitor, whatever. So again, you want your SteelSeries Gaming set to default device. SteelSeries Chat is going to be your default communications device. So basically any apps where you're going to be hearing people talking like Discord is going to reference this as your system default. Pretty simple. I already have them selected, but you just click on it, set default. It's already clicked on as default device. So you would click that. Same thing here, set default communication device. Make sure you click apply and then OK. Now that that's taken care of, I'm just going to quickly run through what this mixer screen means. So basically everything on your computer that is playing a sound is going to show up in this little apps section. You'll have a lot of them initially show up as apps to be routed. And all you have to do is just click, this is my capture card right here, but you just click on it and then you can move it to whatever channel you want it to be playing audio through. So since that's my capture card, I keep it to gameplay. I have, Google Chrome as media, Spotify as media, all of those types of things that I classify as like music, you're going to put under media. Discord is going to pop up under chat, or you would assign it to chat. And that's how you're going to organize your audio to show up like I showed you in the intro of this video, where when you pull it up in your editing software, it's going to have each one assigned to a certain track. Okay. The other thing I want to quickly cover that's really cool about Sonar is you can set up EQ profiles for each of these different channels. So if you go into game, you can set up a custom EQ for the game you play or whatever audio you're running through that gameplay channel. You can set your chat so that it does some, noise cancellation, noise gate type stuff. So if you have people that are normally in your Discord where their mic can be a little harsh or whatever, you can actually adjust the way they sound in your headphones with this equalizer. Same thing for media. I have it as, deep bass because I generally listen to music through this channel. But you can adjust this to whatever you like. They've got a bunch of different types. So like if you listen to podcasts or if you watch movies, you can do that all in here. The one that I like the most, and mainly the whole reason that I continue to use Sonar, is because you can actually put an EQ or an equalizer on your microphone. So this mic that I'm using is actually a really cheap Fi-Fine mic that I've had for like a couple years. And I was able to find a profile that I thought sounded good with this mic. Um, and just add that to my EQ here, and I can change, noise cancellation so I'm not getting background noise, noise gate. So if I sneeze or cough or something, it's not going to catch every single little sound. So this is an extremely powerful tool for a lot of creators out there that don't necessarily have the budget to spend money on the nicest gear. This can kind of help you out a little bit. And then one final thing that I want to cover in this mixer section is you can actually select which playback device sound is going to come through for each channel. So like during the day when I'm working, I'll have music or whatever playing on my PC here. So let's say I normally have this as speakers, which is going to come through the headphone jack on my PC, or if I have like a Bluetooth headset connected, it's going to go through one of these channels that you'll have to manually select. But it's really easy. Let's say, so right now this audio would be coming through my headphones, but if I wanted to listen to it through my monitor, that's all you have to do is you just click the correct playback device and you can switch where the sound is coming from super simply. Another feature I love about this software. All right, so now let's go through OBS. So if you're unfamiliar with OBS or Streamlabs, again, I'm going to have the link in the description. Just download it. It's going to look a little more simple than this when you open it, but basically you're just going to create a scene by going over here and saying add scene, call it whatever you want. And then it's going to pop up with this little sources window. Now for the purpose of this video, I already had to have stuff added so that you guys can see what I'm doing, but just ignore that stuff for now. So if I was setting up this scene for the first time, I would want to make sure, let's say I'm setting it up for gameplay, make sure I do, capture, game capture if you're playing on PC, or for me, I have to use video capture device because I'm using a capture card. But set up the scene with all of the sources that you think you would need. So you're going to need like your microphone. You're going to need a face cam if you have one. You're going to need your gameplay capture. Get all of that stuff in there. And then what I'm going to be covering right now is how you add your audio so that we can split it out in our editing tool. So for audio, you're going to go to audio output capture. And again, I already have these set up, but you're going to go through the same steps. So let's say I want to add my game, right? So I add my game in, and then the pop-up you're going to see is just like this. I believe it just says default under the device. So I like to assign it to the specific Sonar channel, so I put it to Sonar Gaming. Okay. Now you can see that that popped up in our little audio mixer here. And we'll just go through and we'll add all of our audio that we want added to our recordings or stream. Okay. So now I have all of my audio channels added, and it's going to give me different options in the mixer. You'll notice that I have a grayed out source here that is called NS Sonar Audio. NS just means nested scene. And this is a tool that I would highly recommend you implement when you're using OPS because it makes your life a lot easier if you're creating new scenes. Basically, all that is creating these three sources in a separate scene over here that then I can add to my source list in whatever scene I'm creating. So right now you can see that I have all these sources in the audio mixer. But if I go ahead and hide these, they disappear from here. And then I unhide my nested scene, they pop back in there. So that's just a really useful tool that I use to kind of help make my life easier when creating new scenes if I want to try something out. All right, the next thing you want to do is we're going to go over a little bit of settings just to make sure you're set up for success. So you're going to come to settings. You're going to go into output. This first tab is going to be your streaming tab. So if you do stream anything that you want, any audio that you want to go to your stream, you're going to select which track you want to use. I have mine selected as number 6. And then for recording, you select all the tracks that you want to transfer over to your recording. So I just have all 5 selected. I tend to just take out the tracks when I'm editing that I don't need or whatever. But that's kind of the basic thing you want to go over before you get into this next step. So for our next step, we're going to come to this 3 little dots next to one of our sources. We're going to go to Advanced Audio Properties. Now you can see I have a list here. When you first open this up, all the tracks are going to be selected. Okay. When I am putting these on their own tracks, this is basically what works for me. And then obviously for media, that's generally where my music is going to be coming from. If I was streaming, I wouldn't want that stuff to be on stream unless I was playing strictly DMs, like non-DMCA stuff. All I would need to do is just come in here and select that. Okay. But you can see I have game on track 1, my microphone on track 2, media track 3, and chat or Discord on track 4. What this does is it separates each of those audio sources. Each of those Sonar audio sources are going to have their own track in your editing software, so you can separate and isolate audio as necessary. And on that note, we're going to come over to Davinci Resolve, which is what I use for editing. You can use whatever you like. This is just what I've had the most success with, as far as it has a lot of different capabilities. I create all my thumbnails through Davinci Resolve, and I've just kind of gotten used to, the shortcuts and all the things that this software has to offer. And also, by the way, I don't think I've mentioned that all the softwares I use are free. So that's another good reason why I use it. So you're going to open up a new project in Davinci Resolve, which is basically going to look like this is your project manager. This is what's going to pop up initially. And you're going to say new project, title it whatever you want, and then it's going to pop up with this screen, I believe. I always go to edit. And then one thing you're going to want to double check is go to your project settings and make sure that it is selected or it is set up for whatever you're using. So for me, I shoot everything in 1440p. So we're going to do 2560 by 1440. It's already changed my timeline frame rate to 60 because it'll say, when you import something, it'll say, do you want to, match the frame rate of whatever you're importing? And I just say yes. So make sure you change that. And then you're going to import something. I'm not going to go through my files because I got a bunch of crap in here, but you basically just go to import media, and then wherever you're recording your stuff to, whatever folder you're recording your stuff to, you're going to go in there, select what you want to edit, and it'll bring it over into here. So if I pull this down, you'll notice that I have all of these audio tracks. So I had already labeled these. And what I was talking about earlier is I use all 5 tracks, but I may not necessarily have audio on all 5 tracks. So all I'm going to do here is select this, get rid of that, and then I can pull these up to where they match my titles over here. All you have to do to change the title is just click on the text and then you can change it to whatever you want. But now I've got my microphone. So for me, I don't like to have the F word in my content. So anytime I'm saying the F word, I can edit that out without cutting out gameplay or any of the other audio. If I have music playing at the time, like whenever I play multiplayer on Call of Duty, I tend to have music playing. I can take that out. This is my Discord audio. So if my teammates have foul mouths or if they're really loud or whatever, I can adjust the audio level of this and I can cut, if there's inappropriate stuff that I don't want in my content, I can cut it out here. And then obviously your game here, you can adjust the audio level, whatever you need to do. And it's that simple. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions and you want to get in touch with me, I do have my Discord linked in the description below. Also feel free to put your questions in the comments and I'll respond to them as soon as I get to them. Now get out there and start making content.